My email has been blowing up recently. If I had a nickel for everyone who reached out to me and said, hey, Greg, looks like we don't have to do emissions anymore. It's not what they said, okay? We got to read this very carefully. They're talking about removing the endangerment finding for greenhouse gases. And while greenhouse gases are part of the emissions, which means things coming out of something, so what comes out of our tailpipe and goes to the outside world that we would measure in a lab, emissions in the engineering world means a couple things. One, of course, is that greenhouse gas emissions, that's CO2. But the other one that we talk about way more often is what we call criteria pollutants. Criteria pollutants are the really bad things that make humans like us sick. We don't want carbon monoxide. We don't want oxides of nitrogen, and we don't want unburned hydrocarbons or organic gases. And all of that gets measured in the same kind of place. I'm here at the Sema garage. This is a 1066 lab. This is what it takes to get that level of measurement. So we suck everything out of the tailpipe. We go through the pipe over here and we go on the other side of the wall, and there's a magic CVS column over there that does the measurement down to very finite things. This is not your typical horsepower dyno that we work in to find this stuff. With this ruling change, it gets rid of none of this. We're talking about limiting CO2, and they're getting rid of the limit on CO2. CO2, although it's a greenhouse gas, is actually the product of perfectly clean combustion. So if I do my emissions job perfectly, I make no carbon monoxide, I make no oxides of nitrogen. I reduce all that stuff down to CO2 and water only. And that greenhouse gas ruling was further limiting how much CO2 we could make, which really just limited how much total perfect combustion I could make. I don't like being limited on being perfect. And if we make big engines that make lots of power, but we do it cleanly, and the only thing we put out is CO2, that's a lot easier for us to deal with than carbon monoxide and oxides of nitrogen that are going to make people safe. So what we need to keep doing on our side of the industry is, of course, we're going to embrace this reduction in oversight, but we still need to do our normal job. The regular criteria pollutant emissions still need to be under control. So we're going to keep tuning things the way we have been all along. We're going to make sure we don't have the bad stuff coming out the tailpipe. And sometimes measuring that means we still go back here to the same exact kind of emissions lab to get that number.